Okay, let's talk about integers, okay? In grade 7, you did adding and subtracting. Grade 8, we did multiplying and dividing. So we're going to start with adding and subtracting. Now, what you want to do is consider the first integer, the current temperature, okay? So let's pretend it's -4 degrees out, okay? And then the sign in between, whether it's addition or subtraction, is what Mother Nature is doing with it, okay? So the sign is Mother Nature. Now, the second integer is going to be what she's doing to the current temperature. So in this case, Mother Nature is adding 9 degrees. And the sign on this second integer will tell us if it's heat or if it's coldness, okay? So a positive sign is going to be heat, and if it's negative, we're going to have coldness, okay? Or heat or cold or whatever, okay? So I'll just use the word cold here, okay? And then you just literally look at these questions in your head and just sort of figure it out that way. That's the easiest way to do it. And seeing as we're from Edmonton here, we're used to dealing with temperatures that are in the negative, so this is not really foreign to us, okay? So, for example, this first question here, we've got the current temperature is -4, and Mother Nature added 9 degrees of heat. So that means the temperature rose 9 degrees from -4 to give us +5, okay? The next one here, the current temperature is -3. This time she added coldness, okay? The negative sign here denotes coldness. So it was -3 and she added coldness, so it got colder. So that one is -9. Let's try some subtraction ones here. Let's look at this one. Okay, it's +3 degrees outside, and Mother Nature took away, okay, here she's adding something, here she's taking away. Makes sense, adding and subtracting. So it's +3, she's taking away coldness, okay? So that's kind of counterintuitive as to what that means. But if she takes away coldness, clearly it has to be warming up, right? So if it started at +3 and rises 5 degrees, our answer here is +8, okay? Let's look at one more here. So if it's +3 outside and she takes away 8 degrees of heat, okay? Remember that sign in front of the second integer tells us if it's heat or coldness. So it's +3, she took away heat. That means it got colder. So if it started at +3 and went down 8 degrees, we dropped to -5, okay? So now try the rest of those and we'll see how you do. Okay, let's try some of these. Let's do the ones in this little group here first. So try them on your own here, and we'll see how you do. Okay, let's take a look at these ones. Now, there's more than one here. Okay, so all you have to do is deal with two at a time, get an answer, and then deal with the third one, or in this case, the fourth one. So just do two at a time, simplifying left to right, and you'll get your answers that way. So try those. Okay, these ones, similar idea, except instead of trying to find the answer, I'm giving you two integers here, and this is subtraction. And we're going to try and figure out what goes in these purple squares to make the statements true. So what can I put in this, for this purple square, that when I take away +1 from it, I get +4. So try those. Okay, let's look at multiplying and dividing. Okay, so multiplying and dividing is easier than adding and subtracting. Okay, these rules here work for both multiplying and dividing. So if the signs of the integers are the same, our answer is going to be positive, okay, no matter what. If the signs are different, then the answer is going to be negative, okay? And the order of the integer has no effect whatsoever, okay? So it doesn't matter if the first one's negative and the second one's positive, or vice versa, the first one's positive and the second one's negative. If the signs are different, it's negative. If the signs are both the same, it's positive. That also includes a negative times a negative, okay? A negative times a negative, the signs are the same, so the answer will be positive, okay? So let's take a look at these and see how we do. One more thing. The steps here, get the numerical answer first and then write the correct sign on it, okay? Whether it's the answer is positive or negative. Typically, kids look at these questions and they go like, okay, so my first one's negative and then my second one's positive, and what's the rule again? And I forget, and la 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 la. Don't worry about that. Put the sign on at the end, okay? So when I'm looking at these, I'm just trying to get the answer and then put the positive or the negative sign on based on these rules at the end. So flying through these, we're going to have 5, +5 times +2. The signs are the same, right? So we're going to say in our head, so we know the answer is 10, and it's going to be positive because the signs are the same. Over here, we got 6 and a 2. We're multiplying them, so we know the answer is going to be 12, and the signs are different, so it's going to be -12. Okay, try the rest of those. For division, it works exactly the same. Okay. Okay, this is the sort of finale of integers. Now we're talking grade 8, okay? you did bedmass, right, which is order of operations, okay? So you're going to be giving a string of integers here with a variety of operations in between, okay? Multiply, subtract, divide, and so on. These are two separate expressions. So here's how you solve them. First thing you need to do is consider you're only going to deal with two integers at a time, okay? You're not going to look at all this and go, oh man, I can't do that in my head. You don't need to. You're only going to do two at a time, okay? Then you're going to simplify those two, and then here's where kids mess up. You need to write everything exactly where it was in the original expression, okay? And I'll show you what that means in a second here. And we just repeat this until we have the final answer, okay? So really quick, bedmass tells us the order in which to do things. And the trick is, if all you have is dividing and multiplying, you go left to right. If all you have is is adding and subtracting, you go left to right. So we'll see if that happens here. All right, first string here. All right, I've got division, subtraction, and multiplication. So I know I need to do division and multiplication first in order of left to right, okay? So all I'm going to do is deal with these two integers first. I'm not worried about this stuff yet, okay? So negative 15 divided by negative 3 gives us positive 5 because both of these are negative and the signs are the same, so it's positive. Now I'm going to write everything else where it was, including any signs. So that minus is there, the positive 4 and the times negative 2 are there, okay? Next, I'm going to look at what operations I have. I have subtraction and I have multiplication. All right, bedmass tells us we got to do multiplication before subtraction, so I'm only going to deal with these two, okay? So, and don't worry about this sign in front, just focus on from here over. So positive 4 times negative 2. So when I do that, I'm going to get negative 8. And the reason I'm getting negative 8 is because 4 times 2 is 8 and the signs are different. Now I'm going to follow this step again. I'm going to write everything where it was. So this positive 5 and this subtraction sign were in front of this 4 and this negative 2. So you need to make sure that it stays there. So I've got positive 5, and then I do have that lonely subtraction sign, okay? And then our last step here is to just, in this case, subtract. So Mother Nature, it's 5 degrees out, she took away coldness. That means it warmed up from 5 degrees to positive 13, and there's our answer. Okay? Let's try the next one. So we have subtraction, addition, and division. We know we need to do this division first because bedmass tells us to. So we're not going to worry about the negative 6, the subtract, the negative 9, or even this plus sign. We're just focusing on the negative 14 divided by positive 2. And that's going to give us negative 7 because the signs are different. And then I'm going to write everything else where it was in front. Negative 9, and then there's this plus sign. Okay? Now, all I have left now in terms of operations is subtraction and addition. So I'm just going to go left to right. Okay? So I'm going to deal with 2 at a time. So negative 6 minus negative 9. So if it's negative 6 degrees outside and Mother Nature took away 9 degrees of coldness, that means it warmed up to positive 3. And now I'm going to write everything else where it was. So I'm going to have plus negative 7. And our last step here is to just simplify the last couple integers here. So if it's positive 3 outside and she adds 7 degrees of coldness, that means it got colder. So from positive 3 down 7 degrees, our answer is negative 4. And that's how you do these. Okay? Okay, let's try these. Try the first one, top left corner.